to sit. Hello, it's been a minute. Okay, oh good. Okay, am I a little, should I move my camera back a little bit maybe? Or I might just like move it up and back. Let's try that. Okay, how is this? Okay, that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. Let's make sure I can hear myself. This is a solo pod. Hello, hello. Hello. Oh, yes, we are in business. We're in business. Beyond Brave. Let me get comfy. Get my notes. Make sure my phone is off. Waylon is busy upstairs. Okay, I'm going to say my intro. Here we go. In 3, 2. Some weeks, life just hits hard from every single direction. I've had the joy of guppy fry and bird nests, and the gut punch of grief that keeps showing up in ways I never expected, including how I've been treated by someone in my life. I'm going to be honest with you, this episode goes everywhere. From signs from Bella to my body being stuck in stress mode, to deep heartbreak in the medical mom community, and yes, I'm even bringing you into a mental tug of war I've been having about whether to call someone out or give it to God. And at the very end, I'll answer your Instagram questions from today. So stay with me. Here we go. Okay, guys. As I usually do, I open my Beyond Brave in the Brave Cave episodes with a gupdate, and most recently, a birdie killdeer update. If you're wondering what a killdeer is, that's the name of the bird that's nested in our yard that is protected. It's a protected bird. So, updates, fun little updates, guppies. Okay. If you've been following Beyond Brave from the beginning, which is November of, 2024, I like to start with gupdates, and these are the fishies that have made me a fish mom. And so I'm a fish breeder now, and I had 2 batches of guppies, just as little background. Where we're at now, I used to have 4 adults and then a whole tank of like baby guppy fries that are now adults. And my one male was with 3 females, the adult. And I don't know what happened to my females, but they're gone, and he's still thriving, Squirt. And so now that my guppy fries are big enough, which I had 5 of them survive, he is now with all of his babies in the same tank. And they're thriving. They're doing good. And now that they're bigger, I can kind of see some are not colored, which are most likely female, and some are looking like they have some color. So I think I have 2 to 3 males plus Squirt, and then I might have 3 females. But I don't like these. I don't know if it matters with fish if they can breed, because Squirt is technically the father, and then if the females breed with the males, their brother and sisters. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen, guys. But I guess we'll see. I'll keep you updated, like I always do. My birdie update. So we had in June we had Mama Killdeer nesting with her typical 4 little eggs in our front yard, and then they disappeared at random, and I was really sad. And then my husband found another batch. Could have been the same mama, I'm not sure. There was mama and a dad, and they were always around another nest of 4, and all 4 babies hatched, and I got to be there and witness it. It was really funny because this time they hatched one by one. Like the last time I witnessed a hatch, they were all hatched. All 4 of them were like little fluff balls in a nest, and then like gone the next, like that night. Like that's typical of killdeer birds. They hatch and then they eat all of their shells, and then they peace out into tall grass because they're vulnerable. Where they nest is like in pebble. Like sometimes they're nesting in the middle of a dirt road. And so they were nesting in our tree pen in the middle of gravel. But this time the mama chose a real good spot. She was in like our tree holders, like our metal grates, but in like the gravel. So she was really well camouflaged and like out of the way of like traffic, which was helpful. And so I kept checking on them every day. So if you followed me on my Instagram stories, I shared videos there of when they hatched, and Mama Bird being pissed at me for walking over there every day. So This is so cute because they hatched one by one. So like one hatched and was fluff ball that kind of sat in the nest, and the other three were eggs. And then the next day it was like walking around, and then another one was in the nest with two eggs. And then the next day two were walking around and one was a fluff ball in nest. It was so freaking cute. I was like, "Thank you, Mama Bird, for like giving me what I needed," which was this beautiful little hatchling daily episode for like a week that I like purely enjoyed. So freaking cute. But then it kind of has like a sad ending. So just last week, so this is like last month, but like last week, I got excited. I was walking around the yard, like doing my walk, and I noticed the mama killdeer in our front yard. And her two little babies were following her, and they weren't flying, and she wasn't flying. And I'm like, that's weird. She always flies, because whenever I came up to her nest, she would fly and like take off or be flying in and like sit down. So I know she can fly. And I watched her. I'm like, why isn't she flying? And I don't know if she's trying to teach them how to fly, but she would just kind of flutter, but her feet were on the ground. I'm like, did she break a wing? So I went out there and kind of like calmly walked near her, but she like would not let me close to her. We walked all around. And what typically would cause her to take off and fly away from me, she wasn't doing. And I'm like, what is happening? And so the two little babies were walking around, medium sized, bopping their heads like meep, meep. And Mama Bird was just like not flying. I'm like, this is weird. Anyways, I haven't seen her since. Then I go out and I notice the one little baby killdeer still flying around his original nest area in our tree pen, and not flying, but like walking around and beeping and like cautious of me and looking at me. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad you survived. And then I was really mad at my cat Sajak because the other baby was dead in our garage on our doormat, and I was really mad at him for like a whole day. So there's one survival out of the four. I don't know where mom went. Don't know where dad went. Maybe they just pieced out. But there's one little dude hanging out in our yard still. And I'm like, please survive. You're so freaking cute. All right, that's it for opening updates. I hope I can bring you guys back awake if you fell asleep during that. I want to go over a recap with you. So before we jump into the heavy today, I want to connect this episode to where we've just been together. And in reference to that, my last episode was a joint conversation that I had with the two awesome hosts of Let's Talk About Death podcast. And it ended up being one of the most powerful summaries of my medical mom life with Bella. And so I just wanted to set out a little recap, a little reminder of that. That's our most recent episode. So that should be episode 32 on Beyond Brave. So if you're new here, if you're new to Beyond Brave, that episode is where I would tell you maybe to start if you want to hear our whole story start to finish in one place and really kind of get an idea of kind of the purpose of Beyond Brave too, where it's important to me and my husband Lyle, who's not co-hosting with me today, but it's important for us to be vulnerable and share vulnerably. I mean, that's kind of been the purpose of my entire socials projection for the like since 2013. And I'm just, apart from our podcast carrying on our late daughter's Bella's legacy, we also want to turn pain into purpose by being vulnerable and sharing our story in support of other grieving people and parents. So that last episode is really a real good one, and I just wanted to recap that for you guys. If you haven't heard it yet, it's a good listen. And before that one, Lyle and I shared a 2-part series. So an episode that we split into 2 parts, part 1, part 2. And we open up. So it's been, so July 14th was a year since she had passed. And so Lyle and I thought it was significant and meaningful to kind of finally share with you how we handled her last week before she passed away. And that's what that 2 episodes is about. Those were heavy, and they were the heartbeat of Beyond Brave. Really, this is our why. This is our reason why we share so openly here. And we believe pain can be turned into purpose. And that by showing up, even when it's raw, we can help other grieving parents and people to know they're not alone in this. All right, let's move on to recent winks from my Bella. I wanted to share a couple signs she sent me in detail. There's a couple I want to share about here. And then I have 6 stories that I kept in my journal section on my phone in my notes. 6 stories from followers that I kept on my phone. I've done this a little bit in my highlight circles on my Instagram, but I've recently been like copying and pasting into my phone these really endearing messages that I received from people online, that really touched my heart, and I want to have them to reread because they just keep me going. They really do keep me going. So I wanted to share with you. But recently I created a video like on my TikTok at Kyla CT, and my Instagram I shared, and my Facebook, Bella Brave. I shared a longer video, so it's a little longer than a reel. It's 4.5 minutes long instead of 3. It's not considered a reel, I guess, unless it's under 3 minutes. And TikTok likes promoting that. They're moving towards longer videos, but I guess just a little side trail here. Instagram warns you and says, like, when you post a video longer than 3 minutes, they share a little thing that tell you, like, we're not going to share this with new followers because it's too long. It's not considered a reel. And I was like, weird, but whatever. Okay, sure, whatever. But anyways, it's up there, and I tell the whole story of what recently happened with me on a walk. And I'll give you guys a little summary now, but if you want to go watch those videos, I give everything in detail. But in a nutshell, I went on 2 walks, like as I do, like I've been walking, and we're going to get into, this is going to be a topic of my major frustrations lately. My body, weight loss, weight gain, all the things. A lot of the reason why I just like walk like an hour a day. Anyways, side trail. We'll get into that in a minute. So I'm going on my walk, and if you've been following me, it's a lot for me to ask Bella to show me signs. I know she's there. I feel her with me, and I don't want to ask her and every single day to show me something. Like, I just don't feel like that's fair. For whatever reason in my heart, I'm just like, I know she's here. She's my baby girl. We are the closest relationship. Oh, shush. Watch. I didn't silence my watch. That's, I don't like that interruption. Okay. So, I struggle with that a lot, and I'm back and forth. And I started reading the book Signs. I think that's by Laura. And, I really got into asking for signs from Bella. But every time I do, I think she knows that it's a lot for me to ask. And I'm like, honey, if you got time, if you want to, whatever kind of thing. Like, and she kind of confirmed, like, thank you, Mom, with the first walk I went on. So I was walking, and I show in my video, like my view when I have my hat on and I'm walking, and I'm kind of just like sunglasses on, no makeup, hat, like you can't see my face. And I'm just like on a mission to like focus on my walk. So my viewpoint on the ground is like this little, like couple of feet by couple of feet is all I view when I'm walking. And so I'm walking, and boom, in that little, like within like 10 minutes of my walk, there's this beautiful white feather in front of me. And where I was just like, what, this is not, like, I don't know what this, it just like stood out to me like, hi, Mom. And I just felt relief in that moment. Like, I love you too. And I talked to her, and I'm like, thank you, sweetie. I know. And then I was like, I want more feathers. I want more feathers. I want more feathers. I know she's here. And I keep walking, and I'm looking for feathers, and there's none. And then I trail off my thoughts, and I go back to listening to the podcast I was listening to about freaking bloating and working out and protein and crap. Anyways, so then, boom, another feather right in the middle of my little viewpoint. And it's gorgeous, just as gorgeous as the last one. I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing, sweetheart. I thought, I was like, and I made a little post on my Instagram stories, and I'm like, I should bring it up so I can get it right. Actually, I want to bring it up so I can get it right and share you guys what I wrote, because this was her. And this is when I realized, I said, on my walk, I kept spotting feathers, but not when I was searching for them, in the quiet moments when I wasn't paying attention. And I thought, this is just like what my Bella would do. For so many years, her medical life was dictated by appointments and routines, always being told where to be and when. This felt like her gentle way of saying, I'm here, Mom, but I'm going to show up when I choose, and not just when you ask. And I feel like she read that and was like, yes, mom, you get it. Because the next day she showered me with feathers, you guys. I should have picked them up. I thought of this at the end of my walk. I should have picked them up. There were so many. I went for my hour walk. I was so shocked. I went everywhere. I was everywhere. And like, not like, I was like, what happened to the birds in this area? Because every couple of feet, there was a feather in front of me, right in my viewpoint. And it was to the point where I couldn't get in my walk because I was stopping and taking pictures of every single one because I'm like, this is unreal. And it was like literally like every couple of feet, like maybe I'd walk like 15 steps or 30 steps, and there's another one, and there's another one. My entire walk, you guys. It was nuts. And it made me giggle and it made me laugh. And I was just like, honey, okay. I know you listening to me. You're here with me. You get it. And you want to see me smile. And I was just overwhelmed with joy. Um, so that was my most recent signs from her. Oh, and there was a couple on my phone I wrote down that I wanted to share with you guys that I hadn't yet. I don't believe. I don't think I've shared any with you since like Father's Day when Bella in our Father's Day episode with Lyle, and Bella sent him a pie, like a literal pie. Go and listen to that episode. That story's awesome. It's a Father's Day episode. But okay, let me get back to, I got to scroll down because I got a lot. Like if you're watching on YouTube right now, like I am scrolling. This is my journal notes on my phone. Okay, so I titled this one Baby Fawn and Butterfly Kisses. During a walk at Cypress, which is where we go camping, I was talking to you, honey, and asking if I could receive a special sign from you from nature. I told you not to worry when, but if it was a butterfly landing on me or maybe a baby fawn, I said, I know it was you. That weekend in Cyprus, I had a butterfly land on my hand, and everywhere, multiple butterflies surrounded us, golfing, camping, hiking, swimming, walking. I remember really thinking why I would ask for baby fawn with spots. It's July. She's probably like, Mom, you're asking too much. So I said, it doesn't matter when or if I see a baby fawn, I know you're with me now and forever. A week and a half later, I'm in my backyard, remembering how sad I was thinking about asking for a spotted fawn from you and not getting that. How I shouldn't think that way or ask too much of you. Less than an hour later, I'm driving into town for an appointment. We live on an acreage. A mama deer runs right in front of my car. I had to stop. She's on the road. She crosses the road. I have to put on the brakes. And what do I see bouncing beside my car in the wheat field? A baby deer with spots. It crossed the road, followed its mama, and I knew that was you. Just like, wow. It's like I just sat there on the middle of the road. Thankfully, no one was behind me. But and I can't remember if I shared this one. I don't think I did, but it's the one wink from her I got like right after Father's Day, and I titled it The Pink Sun. So it was a Monday night, and my eye caught the brightest, most vibrant pink sunset. I caught the full sun setting completely under the horizon. I watched it the entire time, watching the beautiful sunset. I felt you with me. And so I talked to you and told you I felt you with me. After it fully set, I asked if you could send me a pink sun, just like that. Tuesday and Wednesday went by, and I didn't see a pink sun anywhere. Not on a t-shirt, not on a commercial, nothing. I was looking for it, right? And I shouldn't have been. I just got to let it come. So I'm sitting down. I wrote this. I'm sitting down tonight. I get a message from a friend who is in Prince Edward Island, and she sent me 2 photos of the pinkest sun via Facebook Messenger. She sent it to me on Tuesday. I know that was you, and I love you so much. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to some stories from followers that I wanted to share with you that really, really meant a lot to me. And then we'll move on to my major frustrations that I want to share with you guys, because maybe there's just so much going on that I'm frustrated with. And I'm like, maybe some of you could help me. Maybe you guys could clear it up for me. Maybe someone could reach out to me and be like, Kyla, like, focus on this, not that. Anyways, we'll get to that in a second. But someone wrote to me and said, "Hi, Kyla. I wanted to reach out and say hello. I'm a mom of 2 daughters from Nashville, Tennessee. We are in Toronto right now on vacation. On Sunday, our first day in the city, we were loading into a lift and the driver ran over my 9-year-old's foot. We couldn't believe it. We had to make an unexpected visit to the ER at Sick Kids for x-rays. My heart immediately went to Bella. I had followed her journey, your family's journey, for a few years. We said a little prayer, saying hello to Bella, and asking her to watch over my sweet girl as we waited for news on her foot. Thankfully, no broken bones. Thank goodness. I'm thinking of you all and just wanted you to know Bella's amazing life touched our hearts." Another follower on Instagram said, "I just want to say I recently had surgery for my endometriosis and it's been painful, but I'm wearing my Bella shirt and thinking if she could do it, I could do it. Y'all touched so many lives. I don't even think you realize how many." Hi, Kyla. I can't believe next week will be 1 year without Bella. I want to dedicate my SCIG IV. So that's the immune globulin infusion Bella used to need monthly as well. She wanted to dedicate hers next week to her and asked me what her favorite song to dance to was. And I wrote back, I said Shivers by Ed Sheeran. She loved dancing to that song. Another one said, "Hi, I've been silent follower for a long time now, but I wanted to share a little Bella moment. I work as a NICU nurse, and last night I had my first patient with SCID, which is what Bella was born with, severe combined immune deficiency. She had no immune system when she was born and needed a bone marrow transplant to treat that. Since it's so rare and most of my coworkers hadn't heard of it, I told them about your girl and shared some pictures of her from your Instagram. They all adored her, and it was cool to already know some information about SCID and how it impacts the body. I thought you might like to hear that little story." And yes, I did. Bella is making positive impacts everywhere and is so adored, as you know. Anyways, hope you and your family are doing okay. Sending love. Okay, I got a couple more here. We are in Cyprus. We went over to see my sister in her campsite. She's in Rainbow. I said to my mom, "This is where I met Bella." A few summers ago, we sat down at the campsite and my mom said, "Hey, look, there's a stone with a bee on it." She sent me a photo. Isn't that crazy? And then I had a friend say, "My daughter asked me to text you. Bella told her in her dream they are princesses and dance together. Tonight we noticed her daughter had one single blonde eyelash. And she immediately said, 'Well, Bella did my makeup, Mom. I love it. I love my eyelash.'" It was so sweet. So just know, like, I really find it easiest to go through my Instagram messages for some reason. Facebook makes it too hard. They don't let you categorize it. TikTok is just like, there's no way. There's no way. DMs on TikTok, I can't. 7.5 million followers, like, it's impossible. So if you really want to reach me, Instagram is the best. And I love those messages. I cherish them. And I'm keeping a couple of them that really stand out to me. So thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to some major frustrations. And then that little bit that I mentioned at the beginning about where I'm having a mental tug of war about something awful that happened to me. After that, I want to talk about some loss in the medical mom community. And then I will get to the question box that I put up in my Instagram and answer those questions from you guys. So major frustrations lately. I'm going to start with this. And if you're watching on the YouTube channel, I will try and explain the visual to the listeners who aren't. But just let me grab this tray of what I'm about to show you. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to grab it. All right. Here we go. All right. If you're watching on YouTube, I am showing, and if you're not watching on YouTube, I'm showing a tray, a full baking sheet. And this isn't even everything, of all the supplements and things I've been trying to help. And you're probably wondering, Kyla, what's your problem? Like, just can you summarize what your problem is? Okay, so I'll go through these in a minute. Okay, here we go. So my major frustrations. I don't know what is like, okay, I'm 42. I don't know what is just grief affecting my body, hormone issues because of where I'm at and close to perimenopause or not, or whatever, my age, and what is just freaking stress. And what am I causing? What's causing what? And you guys, I am fatigued. It's like I've been battling this before Bella passed away. I have been in more stressful situations in my life. I've actually like I'm on sertraline, which is to help with anxiety, right? And if you follow my story, like that was really, really, really debilitating closer to 2019, 20, and 2021. And so to catch you up on that alone, I've come down on that. I used to be at 75 milligrams. I'm down to 50. And I've been with advice from my doctor and my pharmacist on how to wean myself. Like I've been like on the stress level of things, I've been able to wean myself off my anti-anxiety medication. Like, okay. But also I lift weights, I walk every day, I eat freaking good. Like the amount I've been on ChatGPT being like, I'm only taking in these calories and no sugar and like I can't remember the last time I ate bread. Like, well, I had some sourdough the other day, but like there's been those weeks and I'm just like I'm gaining weight. I'm not losing weight. And I don't it's not that I want to lose weight to be skinny, but I've just been feeling so inflamed and bloated and I'm so sick of it cuz that's not what I'm used to. But then I also know what my like from listening to like health podcasts and things, I also know that chronic debilitating stress, like complex medical PTSD, the way it has affected my body physically is also part of this, right? And so that had been 10 plus years of putting my body through I don't know when I'm going to eat next. And so it stores all the fat and saves it up. And I know that whole freaking process because I lived it, right? Like you live in hospital with your daughter who has a bowel disease that sometimes is surviving. Well, it was fully surviving off of IV fluids and sometimes wasn't allowed to eat solid food for weeks or months. Like, so like there was multiple times when I couldn't eat in front of her or things were so stressful and so busy in the hospital, I couldn't eat myself, no matter if I was hiding in the bathroom or not. Like, I couldn't get to food. So, like, I know that history of my body being like, well, I'm going to store this because I don't know when you're going to eat next. And I get that. And I've been trying to combat that with like eating protein first thing in the morning and, you know, eating my body weight in protein grams and then getting constipated because it's too much protein. So then I'm, you know, here we go. I got my, you know, my fiber supplements or my Metamucil or my frickin' Restorelax and my frickin' Smooth Move tea that I'm showing all of you on YouTube right now for my tray. Like, okay, so the fatigue has been so frustrating lately. The lack of energy. And that is not me. Like, if I'm borderline hypochondriac, I'm wondering if I have mono at this point, and I don't, because I've also done all the blood tests. Okay. Um. Okay. I also know, and I'm sick of hearing cortisol, 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 cortisol causes a belly flat, and I'm like, yes, I am prime age for the tired tube and the belly fat and but the bloating and the fatigue, and I'm just like, "Ugh." And I did all the blood tests. And my doctor's like, you're not even in perimenopause. This was last year, but whatever. I have regular freaking periods, guys. And they're not painful. I don't get, like, I'm treating my body well. Okay. So this is the frustrating part. I don't get the mean cramps and the harsh PMS. Like, I take the ashwagandha. Where is that on my tray? It's on my tray here. I take the ashwagandha. I take all the things. Okay. I got the magnesium. Right? I know the right types of magnesium. Can you tell I'm frustrated? Like I've quit sugar and I'm okay with that. I crave salty, savory foods, the healthy kind. Like the other day, I ate an entire jar of homemade bruschetta. That's tomato and olive oil. Then I listened to this podcast. It's like, follow the POM rule. And this doctor's like, your POM is, frig, what was POM? I forget. But your hand is like proteins, vegetables, as many as you want. The size of your thumb is like the amount of fats in a day, like avocado or olive oil. And I'm like, oh, okay. I probably had like half a cup of olive oil, like crap like that. And I'm just like, meh, what matters? What doesn't matter? I'm just really, I'm sick of all of the things telling me that cortisol, there's no fix for cortisol. And I'm like, if there's anybody that's had chronic high cortisol for 10 plus years, that's me. And I get it. But over the last 2 to 3 years, I've been really focused on trying to lower it. And I'm really sick of everyone and their dog telling me there's no fix. You got to rest. Your body needs to rest. I've been resting. I've been doing nothing. And that frustrates me more, which raises my cortisol. I'm on all the things. I'm on the anti-anxiety med, right? Like my heart rate is lowered. I'm doing good that way. I know how to handle stress. And then it's like all these things about inflammation. Well, okay, like and the bloating, like I literally went on ChatGPT the other day, you guys, and I'm like, charcoal caps. Like I'm trying these. They help with gas and bloat, discomfort due to gas and bloat. So tried those yesterday. Did nothing. I haven't pooped yet. Apparently if I poop, it's supposed to be black. This might be too much information. I don't know. This is my cry for help. And aside from all this isn't like I want to be strong. I'm so sick of the fatigue, you guys. So I'm lifting weights and I'm walking with the weighted vest and the belly band and I'm sweating. I'm getting good sweat on. I'm lifting weights. I'm doing the right things, but I'm not like feeling good, which is frustrating. It's frustrating. Like this isn't about looking skinny. This is about feeling strong and healthy. And I feel like I am digging myself out of a sinking hole. I don't get it. I don't know. Breathe. My cortisol is rising. Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of have a little like vent on here and see if anybody's got any ideas for me. What did I look up the other day? I looked up on this is my most recent search on with help from ChatGPT. I was listening to a podcast. You guys are going to be like, stop listening to podcasts, but I can't promote that. I'm on one right now and it's my own and I want you to listen. But I often listen to a lot of health podcasts. And so I was looking up symptom histamine and inflammation. And I'm just like, maybe this is my problem. Maybe this is what I should focus on. So I literally was listening to this podcast about it. Like from I'm not listening to like Google, you guys. I'm listening to like credited people and doctors. And it was about like mast cell activation syndrome, histamine intolerance, lymphatic congestion, like possibly lipedema. And I had all the symptoms. So like, if you followed me, you'll know I've shared sometimes when we used to go for like runs. I'm like, why am I so itchy? I can't run for the first 5 minutes and I'm itchy all over, scratching. And this is like toxins leaving your body. And it's typical of this MCAS and possible lipedema. I have severe seasonal allergies. I'm constantly sneezing between April and September. It's freaking sucks. Daily bloating and fatigue, puffy legs, especially lower body, weight gain despite regular walking and lifting, difficulty losing weight. Yes. I'm the heaviest I've ever been, like apart from when I was pregnant with Waylon and Bella, like estrogen and hormone triggered flare-ups, like, ugh. So I'm like, yep, check. So I'm looking at like treating histamine and inflammation. Like I looked up like a histamine inflammation support checklist. And it's like giving me all these things like, I'm probably saying this wrong, but like quercetin and vitamin C help stabilize mast cells, reduce histamine, and lower inflammation. Allergy reactions before meals, take a DAO enzyme, supports breakdown of food, which freaking probably I'm already doing because I have this like ox bile that was recommended to me. I have, what else do I got? I got Synergy B with L-theanine. I've tried, like these are all the things. This one, complete digestive enzymes. Like been there, done that. It's not working. I need to breathe. Okay. And then on to why I bought the charcoal caps, because it says a binder like activated charcoal. Flip the page. I'm on page 2. You guys are like sick of this. Okay. Um, no. Oh my God, that's not where I wanted to go. Okay, sorry. Helps absorb excess histamine and biotoxins from the gut. Great. That's what I want. So let's give it a try. And then flippin' box says, don't carry on for too long. Call a doctor, right? Don't take more than 15 capsules in 24 hours. No, where does it say it? Something like, if the symptoms reoccur and last more than 2 weeks, like, talk to a doctor. Well, I freaking did talk to a doctor, and he said eat more whole foods. Like, okay, I'm done with that. You guys are sick of me talking about it, but if you have any help for me, please. This is my white flag. Help. Help. I'm sick of grief and stress being an excuse for the way I feel. I don't want to do that anymore. I am putting in the work and I want it to pay off. So like that's what's frustrating me right now. I got to put away this tray that's on my freaking lap. Hold on. Oh, there's one more thing I forgot to mention in there too. I've even tried the heavy metal detox smoothie and the lemon detox. Okay, the heavy metal detox smoothie, and got from another health podcast, where it's like you add like cilantro, spirulina, barley grass, Atlantic dulse to like this, and lemon juice to like this smoothie, and it's supposed to help. Anyway, just another thing I tried. Moving on. I'm looking at this next conversation as a way to what do you call it? Like vent in an appropriate way. So I feel like a lot of you are going to be like, just tell us the details, Kyla. Just tell us. And I'm so much of me is not. I'll just let me read to you what I wrote, and then then we'll go from there. Okay. I titled this segment My Christian Walk versus Calling Someone Out. Okay? Because I've been raised and taught to turn the other cheek. Okay? And that has stuck with me. I always say, and I got this from TikTok. I freaking love it. The quote is, no revenge because the way they're living is embarrassing enough. That really is like my mantra right now. And what happened to me almost a year ago, it happened to me like a couple months after Bella passed away. And what stings the most is this was a family member. And the way they treated me in my grief was just so disgusting and horrible. I have every right to call them out. And I should if I really want to make them pay. But that's just not the way I was raised. And also, like, everything they said to me is just beyond not true. And it just shows like they've never supported my medical mom life. They've never cared. And they just prove that in what they said to me. And therefore I should not care. They don't matter to me. But it's just, I wanted to talk to you guys about it because I'm not the only one who's been wronged while they're grieving, and so fresh in my grief too. Why? Like, why? Why do you gotta be so cruel to people? Like, thank God I can handle it. But the things that were said to me, if they were said to someone who is, like, I don't want this to sound conceited, but not as strong or maybe not as, like, heavy in their faith background, like, it would destroy a person. And so let me just read and I'll get this out because I don't want to give away the details. I don't want to call them out. I mean, it's almost been a year. If I could have already. But I just don't want this in my life anymore. Like, I've cut this person out. There's other situations that kind of, since they're family, it kind of like causes them to be in my life. But I'm protecting my peace. And when you're protecting your peace, you don't focus on revenge. You don't focus on calling someone out. You don't focus on forcing them to believe you after they spew lies about you. You let it go and you give it to God. So there's something I've been dealing with lately that's been a horrible stressor in my life. Lately, more like the past year. Um, my Christian walk tells me to give it to God, and I have. To let go of the stress, and I have. At least most of the time. But there's still a part of me that wants to put this person on blast because what they've done to me in my grief has been incredibly painful. And the thing about it is, like, I want to share this as little as I can, but as much as I can to just support anyone. I know when I've talked to other people who are in grief, they're grieving a loved one and have had similar things happen to them. And I'm just like, why are the cruelest people supposed to be the closest to you? Why is the majority of cruel people actually a family member? I've had complete strangers support me in my life on socials and medical mom life with Bella 1,000 times more than this family member. I'm not going to share who it is or any identifying details because, again, I'm protecting my peace. And also, I'm not sharing details because, like, I blocked you and put you out of my life because, like, I don't want you, ruining what I have. I don't know how to put this without giving away too much, but it's like, they think I'm blocking them because I'm worried about what they might see on my socials. Hello. Got 8 million followers I've been sharing and being vulnerable with for many years. Okay? I don't block you on my socials cuz I'm afraid of what you'll see. Like, okay? How about you get with the program? You understand what advocacy is? That's what I'm about, advocacy, not exploitation. Know the difference. Sit down, be humble. So anyways, I'm not going to share who it is or any identifying details because I know deep down that isn't my battle to fight. But I do want to share the back and forth that's been happening in my head. So, like I said earlier, part of me says, hand it over to God. This person's actions are on them. And the other part says people like this should be called out so they don't hurt others. And that's where I'm at with this. It's like, I know things like this has happened to other grieving people and I want to be there to support them. But at the same time, I don't want to carry on this stressor like it matters. It doesn't matter. Forget it. Give it to God. Move on. Block them out of your life. Protect your peace. Move on. But like, this is what grief does. It makes an already sharp wound feel even sharper when someone mistreats you. So, I actually asked ChatGPT. You guys, this is a common theme. I asked ChatGPT for advice on this, and it reminded me that protecting my peace is more important than proving I'm right. That holding my tongue now does not mean I approve of what they've done. It just means I'm choosing not to carry their weight along with my own grief. What did ChatGPT say? Hold on, let me see here. There were some really important things that ChatGPT kind of confirmed for me. Basically, they spewed all these lies at me, and I just cut them out. And ChatGPT says, option 1, don't engage. Thank you. I did not. Don't engage specifically, publicly, right? This is the smartest option. This is what I did, right? And I'm just like, yeah. Also, I'm grieving. I don't have energy for you and your crap that you're spewing at me. Shame on you. Goodbye. Document everything. Screenshots, like keep the receipts. Yeah, I got all the receipts. I've reported to the police because there's that level. Did all that. Block. Yep. Did that. Blocked on platforms. I don't want it risking, when people like, basically it's like cease and desist type, that's where I'm going with it. Cause it's like, yeah, no, I'm not only protecting my peace, I'm protecting my livelihood from you. So I did all that. Post a general statement, did that as well. And then it suggested, a statement like, grief is deeply personal. My daughter's death shattered my world. and I've chosen to live in a way that honors her by helping others, including lot of people. Um, that choice isn't up for debate or approval. If people want to twist that, that's on them. I know my truth. And again, give it to God. Option 2, publicly call them out. Oh, no, I still don't want to do it. I just like it's not worth my energy, you know? I just want to be here for the people in grief that have dealt with this. They've dealt with someone who is supposed to be there for you, but they're tearing you down. And it freaking sucks that people do this, that they don't take time out of their day to understand what's false and what's true, or have a discussion. You know, if they're that concerned that they have to write you a 5-paragraph text of lies and hatred and gross words, like, they're not worth your time. Give it to God. Give it to God. Move on. Give it to God. And I just want to be here for the people that struggle with this. You want so badly to put them on blast. But then there's repercussions from that. Okay? Like, I don't need to. Why am I letting this one person out of my massive like, I have a large family and friends that have supported us from day one with Bella's journey. And they understand my advocacy and the way I use my socials to advocate for not only my daughter, but other medical kiddos. The work I've put in with credible companies like Sick Kids Hospital and Ronald McDonald House Charities, Canada and global. And a lot of other companies that supported our journey and continue to support medical kids' journeys. Yes, I work with them. Yes, they pay me because this is the right kind of work to be doing with socials. And it's not the whatever garbage you're accusing me of, you know? So no, I don't need to put this person on blast and deal with the repercussions of, you know, harming my relationship with what matters. And that's the way I've always shared my advocacy for not only my daughter, but other medical moms, medical dads, the medical communities. And if they are too stupid to understand that, I don't need to work. That's not my problem. That's a them problem. That's a them problem. And what else did I find out on here? That I can mention that might be helpful with this. Basically, I'm just talking to you guys about this because I really just want to give it to God and I really want this out of my mind. But at the same time, like, I will always choose forgiveness. It would mean the world to me if this person would call me up and just like apologize, but that's a lot to ask. I mean, it's also almost been a year. Or just admit that they believed lies and maybe ask me, talk to me, you know? I'm kind of also baffled because how do you believe lies about a person who is so publicly vulnerable? I got like hundreds of thousands of people that can prove you otherwise. And also, why am I so focused on this one person that chooses to treat me so cruelly when I have millions of other people and not even the strangers that understand more than you do? Like, it's laughable. Really, honestly, it's laughable. Like, I need to stop with this back and forth. It's just laughable that I even focus on this, but it's just like I've worked so hard to support the medical community and of course my daughter, and all of you listening know what kind of advocate I am. I don't need to prove this to this one person. It's just I hate that sometimes cruel, although it's false and there's lies, but the cruel words and the stones that people throw from their high horses, inexperienced high horse. Um, this person had never stepped inside a children's hospital before in their life, right? Like, they're dumb enough to believe lies on the internet without talking to the person that the lies are supposedly about. Like, sit down, be humble. That's all I got to say. No revenge. The way they're living is embarrassing enough. That's my struggle, guys. And if you have any advice or tips for me on that, I would love to hear from you. I'm going to keep praying. I'm going to keep giving it to God. He has seen every tear I've shed. He knows what hurts my heart. He's seen it. And for lack of better words, he's the best revenge. I don't know if that's the right thing to say. Karma. Like, I don't need it. I don't need the revenge. I don't need the karma on this person. I have God, and he's seen it, and he knows, and that's enough. So if you are also struggling, if you're a person in grief and you've been wronged, I know it's hard. I've been there. You want to give payback so bad, but don't do it. It's not worth it. Just protect your peace. Focus on the amazing, loving people around you that support you and understand you and know the truth. You know your truth. God knows the truth. That's what you need to focus on, and I know it's hard. But I'm here to help you and just tell you I'm someone who's in that right now too. And I just hope this helps someone out there. Because that's what matters. Helping each other. Not hurting each other. Helping. Ugh. If this person ever listens to my podcast, Godspeed. Oof. Okay. All right. Enough of that. Well, not that I'm moving on to anything lighter, but there has been loss in the medical mom community lately that has got the tears flowing. And I just, like I had mentioned in a couple podcasts ago, like Lala and I talked about, like, we had a little debate about like saying their name. And I wanted to bring this to light for a lot of you because it's just been some heavy loss lately. And I want to talk about it. There's a lot of medical moms out there grieving right now. So this part is heavy, but it's important. So lately I've felt surrounded by loss in the medical mom world, and it's weighing on me deeply. Not that, like, I don't want that to sound like, oh, poor me. No, this is just like grief on grief on grief. And I just want to share with these moms, if they're listening, that I love you and I'm thinking of you. And your medical journey has meant a lot to me. And I'm here with you as a fellow grieving mom. So at the end of June, a medical mom I know lost her beautiful daughter, Luca. Her story and her fight and her mom's love for her, they have stayed with me. She was a recipient of a multivisceral transplant, and if you know her story, you'll know what a miracle that was. She had, I forget what she had gone through that led to it, but it was like she needed this, or she was going to die that night. And she received it, and it was absolutely amazing. And this was about, I think, 5 or 6 years ago when she received that. And so she was just huge inspiration for me and Bella's transplant journey. And sadly, Luca passed away recently, and my heart is devastated with her mama too. Sorry. Just a week and a half ago, my friend from Toronto, Ronald McDonald House and Sick Kids mom, she lost her son Elijah, who was friends with Bella.
They went to the Ronald McDonald House School together. They went to Sick Kids together. They had fun at like Lego days at the Ronald McDonald House Toronto together. Um, so when Elijah found out that Bella had passed away, he made her a video that I recently, his mom was kind enough to send me because I missed it. I didn't see it. Um, and he wrote her a letter. The bond between them two was so special. I saved Elijah's video when Bella had passed away. He wrote her a letter and got balloons, pink balloons with a unicorn, and taped the letter to them and put it outside his house. And it's just like heartbreaking and so loving all in the same. And I'm just a mess now. Ugh. I love you, Elijah, and I'm so sorry you're gone. Mama, my heart is with you too. Oh man. He's young too, right? Like he was friends with Bella. He's just little. And just a few days ago, there's a little girl I followed. I'm freaking pissed at myself that I can't remember her name right now. Oh my gosh. I didn't know her mom at all. I just recently started following her story, and it breaks my heart because she passed away a few days ago. She was a tough fighter, and her mom's advocacy stood out to me, and it was something I deeply admired. And like it was like I hadn't even been like following her story that long, and then she passed away, and I'm just like another hit, and it's not fair. And I'm so sorry, Mama. Frig, you guys. Okay. I will trying to find her on my Instagram again. Like I said, I just started following her and I want to say her name. So I will try and find her on Instagram and share with you all when my brain starts working again here. Each of these losses takes me right back to my own, and but it also reminds me why showing up here is so important and it matters. Okay. One last thing before I get to a couple last things before I get to my Q&A from my Instagram messages. There's a couple things I wanted to mention. I'm trying to decide how to document an upcoming camping trip that we have planned, and it's going to be a long one, and we're really excited because it's a unique camping trip that Lyle and Waylon and I are going to go on, and we've never traveled this far with our trailer, and we're just sorry guys, I'm switching gears here, but I've got to move on. So the influencer in me is trying to be like, okay, how do I capture this? How do I like keep this in memories or share it with people that want to like know? And I'm just like tossing in my head, like, do I take a bunch of photos? Do I take a bunch of videos? Do I take a bunch of voice notes and share it on the pod? Or like, do I just like write in a journal, which is a great keepsake, a memory journal for this trip, and then maybe share segments of that on the podcast later? Like, I'm just trying to think about what to do for like memory keeping, but also like sharing, because I think this will be like an exciting trip that a lot of you might want to like hear about and know about. And basically what we're doing is we're taking time to go camping, and we're traveling through the States with our camper, and we have the first route planned. And you'll have to follow my socials to figure out or to see where we go. You have to follow me on Instagram. I know I'm going to share there, of course, like all my stories and stuff, but I want like a special way to keepsake this trip because it's going to be something we've never done before. Really fun. We're going to travel all the way to the coast, and we planned that first part out. But we did not plan our return. That sounds kind of weird in a way, but what I mean by that is we planned the first week and we're just leaving the second week up to, we'll see. Like, should we go here or should we go here? Or which way should we go back home?
and we're kind of leaving it like in a fun, like, well, let's wait and see type. And I'm just like, how do I want to document this? Like taking videos every day and like saving them, like sometimes we might be in places where there's like no service. So I'm like, do I want to save a bunch of these hour-long videos to my phone? Like the technical aspects of that. Or do I want to just easily journal it and take in the therapeutic aspect of that and like talk about it later through like photos and reading my journal? I don't know. I'm just like all over the place. I'm like, how do I want to document this trip? Because it's going to be meaningful and important and fun. So if you have any ideas for me, let me know. Um, there's been a couple of things I've asked you guys to like help me out with. And so just as like a quick reminder, you can comment on like if you're listening to this podcast on Spotify. I don't know about Apple Podcasts, but Spotify, you can leave comments. So I can read comments there. You can also leave comments on YouTube, of course, if you watch there. But also like the easiest way for me to get a message is on Instagram. Just FYI. Okay. Lastly, before we get to my Q&A segment, a couple weeks ago, a lot of you know, like I had put out a call out, a CTA for inviting guests on my podcast. And I feel like I think I put that out there right before the anniversary of Bella's passing. And I'm just like, why did I do that at such an overwhelming moment? Because now all of you are probably thinking, well, she hasn't reached out to me yet. Is she actually going to go through this? When am I going to be invited on Beyond Brave? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, that was bad timing on my part. Like I was excited and overwhelmed with the amount of replies. Like I wrote down all of your names that want to be interviewed by me. And there's hundreds. And I want to have each and every one. Like I have like 100 episodes, guys. So I just haven't been able to like book those. But also it's summer holidays and now we're leaving for like a couple weeks and then school starts and then I'm going to go back into sub teaching and I'm just like, holy crap, when am I going to record these? And so I'm just reminding myself to give myself grace, but also letting you guys know like I've not forgotten. I want to reach out and I want to interview you and share your brave stories, and that will happen. Just thank you for your patience, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Let's move on to my Q&A. This podcast is probably long enough, but I put out a question box on my Instagram this morning. Let's see what I got. I just want to answer a couple. And I will save the ones that I don't get to like right now because it's only noon. I will save them and add them to next week's pod. So let's go on here and see what questions I got so far. All right. Ooh, there's lots. Holy, I got like 12 already. Okay. So, all right. The first one, intimacy when struggling every day. Whew, okay. We're starting off hot. Here we go. Coming in hot. Intimacy. Whew, when struggling. Okay. I think I'm very blessed and fortunate to have a very thoughtful, caring, understanding husband who has been a medical dad also. And so he's kind of there. We have like our waves of grief are, I don't want to say in sync, but we're in tune with each other's feelings. And so when he sees me having a heavy day, he gets it. But then that's also like a turn on because it's like relief, if that makes sense. And when the exhaustion is there, he just knows and he's like, she's exhausted. I'm not going to pester, right? And we've had discussions around it because there's been times where the communication is not there. And it's just like, you got to have the communication. You got to have the communication or it's just going to turn to a fight. To keep the intimacy, you got to do that. You got to make sure you understand. I hope that helps a little bit. Anything, you're the best. Okay, thanks. Anything. If I could talk about anything right now, what would it be? I don't know. This is like the end of my podcast, so it's kind of like this podcast. More Bella stories, just everything and anything, what she loved and what she didn't. Yeah, okay. So, uh, I got a story. Recently, Waylon's mannerisms have been so Bella that like I stop and I stare at him. Like the other day it was funny because it wasn't back talk, but it was something I asked him to do and the way he crossed his arms and said no on the couch, it was the it's spitting image of Bella. I was just like, oh, and he was kind of being rude, but I couldn't stop staring at him because I was like, uh, that's Bella. The way he sounded, his tone, what he did, his mannerisms. And I just find myself in so much of what he does. I just stare at him. And it's like, he's probably wondering, what? Why did I freeze mom? Mom's glitching. But it's like when those happen and he looks, acts, talks exactly like her, I sit there and I stare at him like I'm bringing her back to life in him. And it's the weirdest thing, and it's the only way I can explain it. Um, what else we got here? Oh, this is kind of interesting. Is it possible for me to work in Canada? I want to work there so I can visit Bella's gravesite. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you have to work here to visit. Like you can just like visit on holiday. Um, if the answer is yes, then tell me how because I'm far away in Indonesia. Well, first of all, I don't think you have to work here to visit. I think you just need to have the right travel documents like a passport probably. Um, how are you processing no longer being an active medical mom? Thank you for adding that. Active medical mom, because if you just said how you're processing no longer being a medical mom, I would be, to be honest, very hurt. So thank you for recognizing that because I still consider myself a medical mom. I will hold that forever. That title, um, I cannot let go of that. So thank you for understanding that and writing no longer being an active medical mom. How am I processing that? It is daily. I open Bella's what used to be her medical cabinet closet. She had 3 different cabinets in her kitchen that are now filled with other things like cups and coffee mugs. And I just stare at it sometimes thinking, I don't want to see a cup right now. I want to see her medical syringe because that means she would be here. And I guess that's how I'm processing it right now. Gupdate. Yep, we did a gupdate. You got your gupdate. Listen to the beginning of the podcast. I'm still thinking, how am I processing no longer being an active medical mom? I want to say thank you to the medical moms online that I'm still in touch with. I want to support you so badly because it keeps me there. It keeps me where I was with Bella, an active medical mom. So please reach out to me. I want to help. If your kid has dwarfism, if your kid has a bowel disease, if your kid needs a transplant, has SCID, takes immune globulin, has a G tube, has an ostomy, goes to Sick Kids Toronto, goes to Jim Pattисon's in Saskatoon, goes to Alberta Children's in Calgary, please reach out to me. I crave helping with all those areas. So that's another way I'm processing it. Do you ever struggle with severe anxiety or panic? If so, how do you manage it? Oh gosh. So this was every second of my life. When it was the worst, I think 2018, like right after Waylon. I remember going to the ER a couple times. When I was still pregnant with Waylon. It was really, really, really bad, and then really bad afterwards. And right before I started taking anti-anxiety medication, of course, that being the reason why, I would have severe panic attacks where felt like I couldn't breathe, that I was going to die. I couldn't drive. I'd have to pull over out of fear of passing out. Calling my dad, calling my husband at work to come and like sit with me because I thought I was going to faint.
making sure Bella and Waylon knew how to call 911 in case I keeled over one day. Like these are the things that were going over my head. It was severe, severe, severe. And I listened to, which also has been on Beyond Brave. I listened to Anxiety Josh, and he is from the UK. His work, his books, his message, his therapy background have helped immensely, immensely. And that's why I had him on Beyond Brave. So yeah, he was huge, huge help in getting through a lot of the anxiety and panic I had. Um, and I'm really happy to say that it is possible to get through it because I am now on the other end and decreasing my dose of anti on my medication. Um, I'm getting to a point where I feel like I don't need the medication anymore. How awesome is that? That's awesome. It's freaking awesome. Um, I hope I helped with that, managing it. Got the right medication. The first one was not the right one. It didn't help. So then I went to my doctor and he got me on a different one. It helped right away. So the right medication helps. Therapy, learning your body, and Anxiety Josh talks a lot about that, like learning um more about your body's reaction to fight, flight, freeze, and the scientific stuff around that and how to manage your breathing. Like diving into the scientific reasoning really helped me manage it. Your fondest baby Bella moment. I am so happy, you guys, that I took the videos and I took the pictures. And my gosh, am I ever thankful for those, because I can relive those moments with her. The fondest, my gosh, fondest baby Bella moment. Okay, the first one that comes to my mind, I don't know if this is a moment, but I just remember this being so crazy to me. So she was born with SCID and we didn't know it, but also bowel disease, right? Like Hirschsprung's. And so my baby from day one was vomiting up to 10 times a day constantly. We're living in hospital, trying to figure out her bowel issue, not knowing she has no immune system. And so 11 months into this road, we find out she has no immune system. And what that means a bone marrow transplant. And so I remember them explaining to me the regimen and them saying to me, we will literally have to bring your child close to death to save their life. And that's what a bone marrow transplant does when your kid has such a rare form of SCID. So no T cells, no B cells, no immune system to fight anything. It was a miracle she was alive, because the common cold could have killed her, yet she had 4 bowel surgeries, exposing stool. And yes, she went through septic shock, but survived it when she wasn't even supposed to survive the common cold. And so what's fond about this memory is they're telling me before the bone marrow transplant, we have to wipe out her current immune system, which is kind of like weeds in her body. And the chemo regimen for 7 days straight before her bone marrow donor transplant, like infusion, is so 7 days of straight chemo to basically round up all the weeds, kill all the weeds of her current immune system, because it's wreaking havoc on her body. It's killing her. And you have to get rid of it all to make room for the donor's bone marrow to take over and give her a new immune system. So that's what they meant by bringing her as close to death as possible, is like she already doesn't have an immune system, and now we're wiping out every cell of it to make sure that it doesn't interrupt the ability for the donor marrow to take over and give her an immune system. And I remember a child, your baby, who has vomited every day due to a horrible bowel disease. The day we start chemo is the day she stops vomiting. And it was crazy, because the way we looked at it, the way her immunologist and her bowel specialist looked at it, it's like this chemo going in and essentially flushing the badness, the weeds out of her system, supported her guts as well. And I remember her not vomiting. It was I don't want to say a glorious week, but it was it was so weird to see my child receiving chemo every single day. Low dose, mind you, like not typical of like a child who's fighting cancer. But still, it's chemo in their body every day and they stop vomiting. Usually it's the opposite, right? Chemo makes you vomit, makes you sick. This was the opposite for Bella. And I remember that being out of the hell of that year in hospital and seeing what my baby had been through, that week has stood out to me. And she was just like a year old. And that's just like a weird medical mom fond moment, but that's the first one that came to my head. Okay, last question. And on to my conclusion for this segment, because oh gosh, what are we at? We're over an hour, guys, I think. Um, okay, this is a good one. It's ending on a light note. What attracted you to Lyle and 3 things you love about him as a partner? Oh, I wish he was here for this. Okay, I need to get him on soon, guys. I know you guys love my episodes with him. What attracted me to Lyle? Well, let's see. When we first met, like the first day we met, we went out that night and kissed on the dance floor. So there's that. So what attracted to me physically, he was really freaking cute. I kept the shirt that he wore the first day I met him. It's like I always talk about it because I find it weird, but also funny that I kept that shirt. I wear it too. It's like a baseball style white and red shirt. I just remember him wearing it the first day I met him. He was just really cute. And then our friends got together and we went out and danced and partied back when going to the bar and dancing was like a thing. Apparently kids don't do that anymore. And we kissed and then the next day before I had to go home, he was like, "Can I spend time with you?" And I was like, "Well, I want to go shopping and then basically drive home." And he's like, "Can I come?" So I love that he's like, you know, golden retriever and type. That attracted me to him too. He was just like wanting to be with me. That attracted me to him. I've never felt like jealousy has never come between us. We've always been so comfortable with each other, and it's just he's never been a jealous type, so that's attractive. I've never been a jealous type, so I feel like that's why we connected so well off the beginning. It wasn't like you have to, like date me and only me and all these like rules and lists. It was just like we just came together and we really liked each other and it was like chill and fun. Yeah. I think that was 3 things. 3 things that attracted me to him. About him as a partner, okay, and as a parent to Bella and Waylon. He's fun dad. He's fun dad. But he's also like bad cop when I have to be good cop. So I get a mix of both. So that's nice when it comes to parenting. What else? I've always loved how Bella is a spitting image of him. And I think that's a bond that they share that I've just always been so in awe of. I know a few of you've mentioned that too when you see Lyle on my socials or my stories, and you guys all tell me right away, like, holy crap, Bella was Lyle and Lyle's Bella. And it was just like, that's really cute and sweet. And I love that. I love how they share that bond. I love how him and Waylon make fun of me. It's really cute. I like that too. I like that dad aspect of him. Yeah. Okay. We got to end this, guys. It's been a minute here. So, in closing, thank you for being here, for listening, for letting me share both the light and the heavy with you today. If this episode resonated, the best way you can support Beyond Brave, my podcast, is by sharing it with a friend. Posting it to your Instagram stories or your Facebook stories and tag me, Kyla CT, if you can. Leave a rating and a review wherever you listen. Hopefully a positive one. That'd be great. Every single share helps us reach another parent or another grieving heart or someone who just needs to know they're not alone. If you ever want to connect with me personally, the best way is through my Instagram DMs. You can find me at Kyla CT. So until next time, keep finding those brave moments, big or small, in your own story. And as my Bella would always remind us, stay brave. Whoop.